Hello and welcome to this new episode of the Warrior's Journey podcast. And today I have Caro, one of my friends that is just an incredible woman, an incredible entrepreneur, and an incredible healer that's here to talk about a very interesting subject that maybe you'll have goosebumps or maybe you'll be, So like working as a businesswoman with your femininity, with your period, your pricing, how maybe sometimes we feel like we prostitute ourselves as a healer. And also her magnificent story of when she chooses herself and not the path that was okay for her, but the path that felt like fuck yes. So I really enjoyed this episode a lot. So I hope you'll enjoy it as much as me.
We fight the powers that be.
Hi, Carol. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. It's our second episode together, and I'm happy that we do this one in English since the transition I've made. I'm so excited because I love your story, and I love for you to say where you started, where you are right now, and also like something you shared yesterday that I think is super important that we acknowledge. So for the women who don't know you, what are you doing right now? How are you inspired woman?
Jesus, that's a great questions. Okay, so first to all the people that listening, actually French is my first language, so I'm sorry in advance for that. All right, so let's talk about pregnancy, launching, company, therapist. Yeah, so actually I just finished my vacation of maternity. I don't know. Yes, that's in French we say congé de maternité. So I'm starting something really new about all the way with La Witchery. So this is the name of my business. So La Witchery, the Witchery. It's about how could you be the most beautiful part of yourself in all those versions, so like physical, emotional, spiritual, and mentally, with of course a little mystical touch. So we do have here, it's my office, but it's to the cabinet, so the therapist cabinet. So you could see like the thematic, it's more like woody. We have a shop too, it's really like witchy, really assumed. We do tarot, I have tea, candles, like witch stuff. So actually that's where I am with the baby of 10 months like 2 days ago. So he is really tiny again. Oh my god, he's growing fast actually, but yeah, all the mommy knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, and you say yesterday I opened the subject because yeah, it's something really difficult when you launch something and you want to put a price on it and you want to do something good that people wanna buy, because like here in Quebec we do have a mentally, I don't know how could you explain
I
the
think
mentally?
it's a small mindset about like we're born for, how we say in Quebec, it's like we're born for a little bread. So it's just that we have to be content with like what we have actually and not want too much. And I think it's yes in Quebec, but it's also a worldwide thing of like we shouldn't ask for more. And I think it comes really from scarcity mindset of like there's not enough for everyone, which is not true.
So on point. And what comes in my mind when you say that, it was yesterday I claimed my power back. I claim my crown on it and I say, okay, I'm gonna embody that. And I feel so good about that, because when I saw the first prize that I put, just to get you in touch, in the cabinet we do have a full service where we take charge, on prend en charge, we're taking care of all the facilities, the booking online, with the social web marketing stuff. Yeah, it's like really clé en main.
Yeah, it's like all inclusive.
Yes, all inclusive. So I put like really less the budget for that, and I was in school for that. I have a price. So I did my homework and see how the agency charged for the same things. And
Yeah.
I just punched myself in and I said, okay, your value is more than you have put. So maybe that's why this project doesn't work with you actually, because you didn't put the right things on. And I talked to myself and I said, oh my God, did I miss something? But like I have to pardon myself because I was too busy to taking care of my two child, so the company
Yeah.
and babies. So yeah, yesterday I was writing my infolet, my
Yeah.
newsletter, and it's like the tarot card that explained where I am. It's the Wheel of Fortune.
Wow. You're right now. Things are circling in.
Yeah. So yeah, this is it.
I really love that we like dived already in this part, because I feel like I was completely the same in the beginning, and I felt like there's so much, I think mostly, like, how can I say, maybe I'm wrong for saying that, so don't judge me, but in my opinion, okay, I feel like mostly women in the health industry or spiritual industry, or like women that want to help other women or other people, we're like, we want to help them so much, and sometimes more than that they want to help themselves, but that's another subject. And like, we want to help them so much that we don't want the price to be an objection for them to taking care of themselves. But the thing is, while that's really good and that's really nice, we put ourselves last in that process, and that makes that the caretaker is less energetic. Just when you said like, hey, when I made that decision, it was hard, but then I feel so good. I feel so energetic. And I'm sure like just because of that, you'll feel like you'll want to give even more. You'll be even more present. And the person will have even more out of this session, because you'll know that this is what you're worth. And before that, it was like saying, I know I'm worth for more, but because I don't want you to say no, I'm gonna like lower my price, which is really not energetically like magnetic. Because when you own your power, when you own who you are, when you own the transformation that you give, like just owning that price and knowing that's what's important. I feel like where I am right now, if I see prices that are too low, in my opinion, I would be like, it's either someone that's starting or either someone that don't really like do a big transformation, And I feel like when you pay more, it's more quality, which is maybe faulty, and it is in most time, because there's so much women that undervalue themselves, but at the same time, that's the energy that's like, I don't know, like felt when I feel that.
I have something to say about that. I'm on the Huron-Wendat territory. And my husband is indigenous. I do have indigenous too, like in my ancestor, but I'm Quebecois. I'm a great mix. So he said, like, with how he said medicine people, like shaman people, tell
Yeah.
in that way, don't ask any money for their service. That
Yeah.
doesn't work here. People do
Yeah.
trust, like exchange stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, because medicine is the first thing. If you are not in well, you cannot do something. You can't.
Right.
And with the capitalism mindset, they put like doctor any price. So many dollars are paid for any treatment, whatever treatment, name it. Like, don't need to have a quick research to see that. That's how it is.
Yeah.
So talk about mindset or emotional healing. It's not something that we see. So that's why it's really more difficult to put a price on it, because people want them right now, want the transformation right now. But emotionally, you keep in general like this baggage, this hard baggage, emotional baggage in your heart and in your body since very long time ago. So basically, and obviously, if this change, the changement will come in a certain way, in immediately. So, and I think because of that mindset, because we can see the things right now, maybe it's something that we put less in the price, or maybe too because in the ancestral thinking we are not supposed to pay a shaman.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm really aligned with this, because for the shaman thing, a lot of people that want to do good and change the world don't want money in exchange because money is bad. And it's like, I'll go like religion wise. In religion wise, like money is like you don't need a lot and it's scarce, or give it all to the church, and like it's bad because if you want too much, like it's bad, literally. And it's like as bad as sex. And it's crazy because in our society we put those things like that we want the most as the bad, so we have a bad relationship with that. And I put sex because it's really easy to grasp also that like what society is doing. And it's just like people that change the world, that transform the world, and the people that if they have more money will do so much beautiful things with that, with sharing, with changing the world. But those people don't want to see the value. And I don't want to say that against anyone, but the people that are just there for the money are no shame with taking money. So I think
in 5 years, I will be like so rich. I will. I deserve that. I worked so hard for that. I didn't take a vacation when I get pregnant for that. Like, fuck yeah, man, I deserve it. And I never think about that because all this work comes from my roots and my heart combined, not from my ego, you know? So I think when you embody those parts, like the roots is where you from, why you want to do that, what are the ways you're going to do that in the world physically, because so many things comes in the mind when you talk about whatever you want to do in this world, you know. And when you mix that with the heart, so the heart is so pure, the heart is like heart chakra,
love.
So for that, I know abundance will come, prosperity will come. Like it's something like evil to make money, but you know, even the most powerful OBSL, like organization without, you know, makes great money. They need money to do great stuff too.
Exactly. So that's this. So we know that. And I love that people that are hearing us are like, okay, yes, I need to see my value and I see my worth. Also, like when you do more, sorry?
As I'm going to tell you your value, not your money.
Exactly. And like, for something that it's in energetics, like a lot of like women that follow me are like open spiritually like yours. And it's just like, yes, it's hard because people cannot grasp this, but I think mindsets are changing and we're understanding that like, yes, you can continue spending money on detox product, on like medicine product, on whatever you want on internet, and come back at the same place again and again and again, because you'll just gonna, how can I say this? Go not to the root cause, but just for the symptoms, and you're just dealing with the symptoms. When you do the emotional work of like where it is in your body, why is it there since like before the age of 7, like then
the medicine, the medicine department, it's so bad all around the world. I mean, you know, with the government
I think it's good for emergencies and for things like that, but when you have some things that been nagging and it's been staying, there's an emotional reason, and there's a mind and body connection that's really, really strong that in the Western part we don't talk about.
You got it. You got the right point. So basically, if everyone knows that everything is holistic, everything's it's an all, we could heal our society. And since COVID hit the spot, it makes great things. I'm pro COVID, and I'm really weird about saying that because I'm not vaccinated at all. But you know, I'm a journalist too. I forgot to tell you that. So
we'll dive into your story right after this, but I want to nail on the coffin on that thing.
COVID bring us so many lights for the light workers, like ours, like you and me, and
that's where Artemis was born. It's because of COVID.
Wow. Oh, there's so many great stuff about that. But the point is that pandemic opened our third eyes much more than the government thought. And it's make us in our own solitude and loneliness.
Yeah, it brought us in our minds and being like obligated to be in the moment, the present moment, having nothing to do and nothing to like put our mind like. And so people like went in depression and things like that, but so people changed who they are. And I literally changed who I was, my identity, my job, just because I was like, I have nothing to do than think about like, is that what I really want for my life? No. Okay, I can change it. Yeah, good.
You had all your focus on that at this
Yeah,
moment. It was 2 years and all to just make the whole change of your world. It was
yeah,
fantastic. But when people get depressed, okay, that made me think about what is the seed of the humanity is the creation. Every human have the power of the creation.
I love this.
That's
I
why.
love where it's going. Yes.
And we are connected with this magic. It's a great magic. It's the most wonderful magic, man. The
Yeah,
creation. You could do whatever you want. And we carry, and I have goosebumps to say,
I love this.
I will just continue. So I'm saying that our ancestors have been trained mindsetly to think about they are only that little bread that you're talking about earlier. No, we are all that. We are
Yeah.
all so much more. So yeah, creation, that the seed. People need to understand and acknowledge that. Not to stay focused on that little box that our ancestors put on and that the government is working so hard to make you believe that you belong there.
There. I love this so much because when you understand that you're a conscious being before a body, and those two have to like be together because you have to have a healthy body to be like able to connect as a deeper level. Because if you're in survival state, you're not gonna think about like abundance. You're not gonna think about peace. You're gonna think about survive. So when everything's aligned, then you understand that you have a spiritual body, and your spiritual body, it's not temped in your body, it's everywhere, your aura, your energy. And when you understand that everybody has energy, then you're like, okay, so let's say in your house, and I got this, I didn't invent this, that's from Neil. I really love this guy, I love him from my heart. And he's like,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
yeah, what, Neil what?
Okay, you say Neil because Neil deGrasse Tyson is like a great scientific, like really.
Yeah, but not this one. Is Neil from A Conversation with God. Really good. You should read it. You'll like it. If you listen to this podcast and you don't read that book, go read it. So in a house, when the air of the living room is changing from the kitchen or from your bedroom, there's different air, but it's all connected. It's all the same because you don't know when one starts and one ends. So that's the same for a spirit. So if all spirits are connected, we're all one, and we're all part of God, the creator, the universe, call it whatever you want, the supreme source, but we're all together in this thing. And when we're going to understand that affecting someone else is going to affect you, world's going to change. This is literally my mission, is to elevate consciousness, and doing that with like women entrepreneur that can influence other women will make me have a bigger impact. But if we do that at a higher level, everybody gonna higher their consciousness, and then society.
It's the International Women's Day coming soon.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Wow. Yeah. Right. Whatever. In the indigenous community, a lot of indigenous community, if the woman is not cherished, not taken care, if the society not going well, I don't know how to tell you that in English properly, but I mean, go back to our own parents, my own mother, grandmother. The women are supposed to be at home, taking care of the child, not doing so much. And the father goes working, bring the moolah. All right, fine. But basically, what that means is the woman have the power of the creation by the womb. She got intuition, she got the imagination, she got the rules of their house, she have the balls. That's how it's supposed to be. But well, not in, whatever. Coming back. And what's the father? He is like in his own pure masculine divine. It's taking care of this imagination and make it concrete in this world.
I love this, yeah.
In concrete in this world. He got the link, the penis, but that is like the
stability, the taking care of. Yeah.
They have in Tantra the lingam and then the yoni. Okay, so we're just gonna make a little knowledge about tantra. It's really like dig down into the vagina and then the penis. So vagina is like the cave with the crystal on it. She could do whatever she wants with that magic. And the penis, the lingam, comes to man empower that magic of that and then make it real, make it concrete. This is so insane when you talk about that. Well, I'm just closing that subject. So coming back with the father, yeah. So when my mother and my grandmother is staying at home, taking care of the child, and then Papa goes do the all works, that magic of creation doesn't exist. It all goes to the man. All goes to the man. And the men don't have to show any emotion. They don't talk between them about what's going on, really what's going on. And I have that conversation all the time with my own husband, with them friends. Man, you should talk between you about real things. No, like I'm too tough for that. Bullshit, man. Whatever. So yeah, I think that's why deeply our society now, well, we are in a change to switch it. I feel it.
Yeah.
Women take more space. This
Yeah.
podcast is an example of that. And our job is to lead the way to say, hey, I could do whatever I want because I got the power and I feel it into my roots and my head, like chakra, like coronal chakra.
And I want to pick your brain on this feminine energy and this masculine energy because I feel like in business, okay, and you have your place, you have a business, and you've been in multiple things, like even journalism, which is a really men like space. So just I feel like all my life before a year ago, literally, yeah, it's been more than a year by now, but like not that long ago, I was really, really, really always in men's situation. And that come from like my story of having to take care of my family when I was young. So I had to step in that masculine role of the divine masculine. So all my life, I thought that was just it, you know? And then when I understood what feminine energy was, what flow was, what magnetic was, what creation ease was, I was like, why did I didn't know that before? And I feel like as an entrepreneur, we're so in a man and like, okay, no emotion, business is business. And just like, there's an easier way to do that. There's a feminine way to do business. And once if you don't get this, you'll continue to work, and everything like doesn't work. You're like, just harder. When it's just like, maybe there's something that is just more aligned and you have to like connect to your intuition, see what it's really, really like telling you. And then you'll go outside the box and create things that maybe doing more won't help or won't do. So I want to pick your brain about that because I know you're all about feminine energy and divine masculine also.
Okay, let's talk about once again the womb, the cycle. I'm trying to put it in place in my monthly schedule.
Menstrual cycle?
Yeah.
Your menstruation? Your period?
Yeah, yeah, so easy. Same in French. What? Okay, whatever. The point is, I got them back 2 months ago, so it's just brand new. I didn't have it since
because you had a child, which is like
yes. Yeah. And then when they come in, I was so connected with my body. I feel them coming. I feel the womb say, "Oh, I'm coming back," you know. And I was like, "Okay, I have so many things to do," but like, yeah. I've learned that I deeply need to be connected with this cycle because they're gonna give me so much more at the end. We are not made like the energy of the man energy, like divine energy coming back. So actually I put them and I realized that when I'm in my period, the creation is so strong. I create dream catcher. I'm creating like visual stuff and it flows like my flow goes, right? And when my eggs want to come out like a chick, whatever. So yeah, because it is, in fact. So it's the best time to creating something tangible, something like great additions and about that, making stuff like that. So I'm trying to devise that or not taking all in the same week, you know, because that's we are supposed to be. They are different kinds
Yeah.
of good and that. And since 2 months, I feel so grounded and I feel so like, why mama didn't teach me that before? Because mama wasn't able to understand its own circle. So
Mm.
my own mom, when I say mama.
Yeah, it's the same for I think most of the women in our generation of like for us it was just like, hey, take the pill at 14 years old and then forget about it. If you don't want your period, just continue to take the pill. And that was me. And I had problem with endometriosis, I had PCOS, I have trouble with my hormones. And now I know that because I eat it like shit, my sleep was bad, my health was not great, even though it looks normal because I was not sick. But then the other part that I didn't know was like I was not connected to my feminine energy. So for sure I had problem with everything hormone related. And then when I stopped taking the pill, when I connected to my feminine energy, now I'm like, my cycle is, I know exactly which day it will be. And yes, I still have pain sometimes, mostly when stress is high still. But like, if not, I don't have like I had before of like, I couldn't even move. So it's just like so full circle of like, yes, I feel exactly what you mean now, because if, before I didn't understand, but I was like, okay, so the week I'm in my period, I'm stronger at the gym, I'm so energetic, I create so much more. And but then like what would you say to the women when they in their little phase and they're like, what I'm doing, I still have to produce, but it's understanding that.
Plan. You have to plan before. You have to plan before and keep you a little like average or so moment. But the thing is, we are chaos. We are chaos. And basically, when I heard that 4 years ago, and I was like, what does fuck that mean? We're supposed to be like drilled. We are chaos. We are made by intuition, and intuition are strongly connected with the things around you, and the things around you move consciously, like it's moving. So yeah, it sounds like difficult. First of all, I suggest to have a flow, like an application on your phone to just give you like the tempo of your body circle. And then after that, making some journalism. I have two different books for my journalism session. I have my personal one and I have my business one. And
Love
that's
that.
at the beginning of my entrepreneur way. I was making all of my personal stuff because like the mission of La Witchery are from my soul, so it's personal, you know. Oh
Yeah.
well, whatever. This is another subject. So yeah, and in that journal, the question that you could have firstly, how am I feeling about making that? Am I wanna do it right now? Maybe like later, okay. When? I don't know. Okay, that's not a good moment. Just being more intuitive about the way you feel and then making that intuition a true comme une vérité.
Yeah. Become your truth.
Yeah. And we are so disconnected from that.
I think it's because it's not well seen in the society. And when you're like, maybe I have listened and it's not the right time, I'll wait. It's just like, no, everything has to be now. And like you said in the beginning of like, people expect something right now. And when you just take time to be more aligned, to have a better decision, sometimes you'll save sometimes. So it's crazy because in my entrepreneur like line, like my history, I've been coached by men. I've been always like in the okay, now you do this, now you do that, now you do this. And now I'm understanding then like I've done so much things and I'm happy I've done that because I learned, but now I know that like less is more and that the perfect timing do really exist. I feel like you have to sometimes not wait because of perfection, but sometimes we stress ourselves also and we create urgency about this has to be done for yesterday when you can wait. Yeah.
Okay. I have so many things to say about what you just. So first, I show my phone because everybody knows we feel always in the urge of the moment to taking action because we are feeding, we are scrolling, we
Yeah.
are
Dopamine hits all the time.
So step back again. When internet doesn't exist, we knew how it was. Do you remember?
Yeah, I
I mean,
remember playing on the computer and my mom talking to the phone, and I was like, no, no internet anymore.
yeah, but like we are in the like first school, like we are so little, but I have great memories about living
Yeah, yeah,
without
yeah.
computer. And I say to myself, well, like all the decision us not doesn't need to be making the urge too, because the all I have to say that in English. All right, so I want to say we have, I think, women to take the time and refer to the past when we don't have any internet. They have time for that, like for the letter you want to put to the post mail. They have time for that, you know?
Yeah.
So being in that state of mind that everything's taking is home time, I think it's release some stress because we are not in the urge to make it all quick because with one click you could do whatever you want. So do you understand what I'm trying to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
say?
I feel it's
Okay.
because now with the internet, everything's so quick, then we use for that everything's like happening now. But before we had to wait for the letter, we had to wait for this, we had to wait for that, and it was just normal of constant flow. And I feel like that's also a thing where like we're not in the present moment neither when we're waiting online, where we're waiting for a coffee, where we're waiting for anything at the store, we're just on our phone and we're never like thinking in our thoughts in the present moment. And that's always why we feel like we always have to do something, but then it take off all the some like I want women to listen to us to think about when was the time where you reacted and did a thing where like just not acting would have been best. I'm not talking of like not taking action of like taking the leap for your business, doing the thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about when we feel like we have to do something, but if you would have not done this thing, nothing would have changed. And finally, you would save some time and just be in the present moment. So it's just like sometimes we always feel like we need to do something because we're all stuck in our masculine energy. But when we go back to our intuition, our femininity, we just are in the flow. We understand that's all the aligned action we're going to take then are going to be very valuable and more effective than just doing bunch of things that, yes, you're doing things, but they're not landing how you want them to land.
That's the point. Yeah, because when you act in the urge or just like in the robotic mode, you don't think about what I like. Is that idea is it's great? Is it really great, or it's just like creating on the spontaneous because I saw something similar and I want to do something similar and okay, I have to put it right now on my business because it's working for whatever company,
For
others,
someone
whatever.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just sit. I think the question could be when was the last time you sit with an idea and then just make it resound like making echoes on your body.
Like
Ooh,
listen to how your body reacts
no,
to that thought. Like, do you
yeah,
feel like your heart crisping, your womb crisping, your muscle tensing, or you feel relaxing, or you feel excited? Or like, when's the last time you sat with that thought and saying like, is that what I want or not? And I feel like for women, we ask, and I did that too. We ask so much for other people opinion on every fucking thing, but like there's always a way, and there's your way of doing things, and that's your special fucking power to be authentic and to be you. And if you constantly ask for advice for everybody, for your own life, for your own business, it's just like sometimes it's not going to be aligned, and you're going to do things that, yes, maybe worked with others, but you won't understand why this worked for others but not for me, because you were not meant to do the exact same thing than others. You were meant to do your own thing.
yeah. But they have like a little tricky thing with that because I used to put in action when I have a thought and I said, okay, let's brainstorm something cool that like making echoes with me, but not totally finish it and just land it. Bounce, make an action, and then see if it's working or not. Because if you're still stuck in the mind, you will do nothing. So they have like the thing is finding a perfect balance of
Yeah.
creating something, being in your heart, and you wrote, and yeah, and then just do something.
I think the difference in what you say, which is really good, is for women to grasp that it's not like it's not perfect yet, so I cannot take action on it. It's not that. It's like, do I feel like this is aligned? Does that excite me? Does that like feel good? Yes. Okay. Then you do it. Because if you wait, then you go in your mind and then you go, oh, but maybe that's not good. Or what they think about this. Maybe I should ask this person. Maybe I should wait before that. That's where you go in your mind because the idea was good. But like, if someone to tell you something and you're like, to do something, and you're like, I don't really know, but then you take action for that because you're like, oh, you tell me to do that. No, that's not good. So sit with it. If it's a fuck yes, then just do it because your mind will go nuts and will say like, your ego can just see what it will loses, not what will gain. So we're always think about, yeah, drive the mic. But that's the exact same thing I did when I did my switch in English. My ego was like, I was like, fuck yes, I'm doing it. But then it was like, but then what? Then what those people say and what will happen? And no. And I know that like my inner self gave me that thought, give me that idea, and I have to act on it, even though like it's scary as fuck. But
when it's scary, it's so good.
but that's it. You just act to act. And that doesn't mean every day I'm like, fuck yes. Someday I'm like, oh my God, what I just did, you know? But then you continue and it's fine because your first instinct, the first thought was a yes, and that's your intuition. Everything that come after, it's your mind, your ego trying to scare you.
Yeah. That's it. I have nothing to say.
I love that. So I want to roll over your story real quick because it's really, really inspiring. And I know we're a little bit tight on time, but I think we will have time of like, where does this started? Like the creation of your business? Because you did a major 360 like shift when to follow your intuition. So a shift.
I know. I hear you. Okay.
So like, because one thing I honor is women that just go like, oh yes, this is the path that was written for me, but that's what I feel and that's where I'm going, you know?
All right. So let's start with school and journalism. So basically, like my dream job when I was at the university was to write some article for a magazine, like really nice magazine about art, culture, travel, stuff like that, you know, that something that makes me like thrive and makes me want more. Cool, fine. I made some TV show, I made radio stuff, I made some great stuff too, to be honest. But
yeah,
when COVID hit and I see the underground, I was like, oh no, I'm not want to be like marionette, a puppy, no,
a puppet.
Yeah, puppet, a puppy. Me too.
I don't want to be a puppy.
A little dog that you just obey to people. That image, you know. And I said, okay, no, what's up? What's up? I'm gonna finish my master. All right, because when I do something, I finish. That's the way I am. And when I see my own family reject me and being scared about like a virus that don't have any information, and then about a vaccine that they don't have any more information about that, and I said, okay, there is the problem. That ring a bell so many strongly inside me, and I said, okay, how can I miss that? And then the way of listening, like the Great Communion, about like I have the picture of the spiritual ego coming and then give the message about you have to change your way, and then making something about the healing stuff. And I was like, who am I? And then the ego said, I don't care. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I think you had Claudine Langlois on your podcast. I think it's in French or in English. Never mind.
It was in French.
So whatever. You could have another one with her in English too.
Oh, that's for sure. She's the one of the limitless client I have, and she's just incredible with the shift she's doing also herself for the greater world. I love that.
Yeah. So this is another subject, and I'm really excited to hear about that in your future podcast. But Coming back, I meet her. She was like, "Oh, you could do whatever you want." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." And I'm making some creation, art therapist, because I'm a dancer. Well, in fact, this is how we met. You and
That's
I.
how we met.
Yeah, dance industry, and then yeah, whatever. So I'm just starting my own creation about my dream catchers, and then that goes me.
And I was a
to
client of your dream catcher also. I still have it.
Okay, and then that opened me to a formation to be a natural therapist with dosha yoga, and then I learned the Ayurveda and then other stuff, and it was so fluid, so like flowing, and I just yeah okay, and I was with my ex-boyfriend at this moment. With all that, okay, I draw the whole pictures all this time, and that guy is the Samuel. He have a name, Samuel, and I knew he wasn't my man because he was my best cheerleader, but he didn't help me to grow. He was always there for me, but he didn't help me to grow. And
Just patting you of like, you're okay. And I'm like, no, I want the real deep shit.
I need it. My soul craving. All you want is just staying there. But that's okay. That's so okay. We had two different vision of the world, but my soul knew it. But my mental was like, oh, I'm gonna do stuff with him. Let's go. We had 5 years of relation. We buy a condo after COVID, well, in COVID, in fact, and it was crazy stuff. And then when we had our first disagreement, I said, oh, it's the time. It's time. I have to go. I have to go. It's not good. It's not good for my health. It's not good for my spiritual way. All right. We have a talk. We split our way. And then what? 2 weeks after that, I met my man. 2 fucking weeks. The man, okay? The man. And I know that because I feel so like you see my face, I don't have it.
And that's the difference between being okay in your business, in relation, whatever, and being as excited as Carol right now. That's how you should feel about every fucking thing you take.
Like I feel wet. it is.
Love it.
It's a statement. Like, yeah, and I'm hot now, like whatever.
I love that. But that's how we should feel. Not just like, yes, I think it's good. So just be like, this is the thing.
Yeah, this is the real fucking of your gods, man.
Yeah.
And then after that, finish like the story. I moved. I sell my condo with my ex 1 month ago. I moved with my man, with Brad, and 1 years after we had baby Elias, and I was panicked, man. I was like, okay, I would just launch la Witchery. So he said why don't you open your own business in Quebec City? And I was like, wow, I never thought about that because in Montreal, I was living in Montreal City. They have so many stuff like that. Like
it's saturated.
I don't feel the way. I need to put my energy in that big city. But in Quebec, they have nothing. And plus, the only metaphysical witchy boutique just closed at the same time that my idea of opening a witchery, like
Fucking time me.
this is. I was always remember we was in the bath and he said, "Why don't you open your own stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, okay, fuck, do it. Let's do it." And
it's always like that. When you follow your intuition, when you follow your heart, like God, the universe, the source, whatever you call it, put opportunities in your hands because that's where you're supposed to go. And when you're going in the direction where you're like pushing the door, and you're like, why the door doesn't open? Because you just had to pull and go the other way all that time. So if something feels so hard, there's another way. And it's so inspiring that like now for a circle, you're in your boutique.
Well, I don't know about you, like when I say you, not only you, Chloe, but like you, everyone, when you feel something truly deeply, like rudely, how do you feel? And make all those decisions? A chair, on dit comme faire un siège dans les racines in French. I don't know how to tell you that in English.
Like make this so grounding in your reality, like creating it.
your special sacred place to making
Yeah.
decisions. Yeah, I'll tell you that. I'll tell that. Well, so yeah, so big picture about that brings me here in my own cabinet that me and my husband built. I could give to a room tour if you want. Oh, are you there? All right, so people could see like the little mystical shop that we have. So this is the boutique.
Wow.
Yeah, it's always like some things new to do. We just had the lights at the library. This is the tarot spot. Have, yeah, so many stuff too. So yeah.
And I love that you followed your heart and you went all in who you were, and that's like, and who you are. And I think that's make the magic of like how this place is so incredible, because you just follow your heart, follow who you are, and stay like that. And I know that like your like story, your ancient influence is really important for you, and you brought this there also. So it's just like a full circle moment, I feel, right now, to have this podcast in the clinic, in your space, in your boutique, and seeing that like the seed coming, the real tree, you know. And I'm really, 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 really happy for you, and you deserve all of this. And I'm so happy for this moment. And I hope that the women that are listening are inspired by this, because if you feel that even if you're in a good path, doesn't mean it cannot be a fucking great path, you know?
So yeah. Well, thank you so much. We have this conversation about when we're gonna meet, blah blah blah, and then yeah, we are in exactly the most great
The right
moment.
time. I love that.
So glad to have you.
If people want to follow you or come at your boutique, like where they should go.
Okay, we are in Wendake, so at Quebec City, and you could go to lawitchery.ca or follow us on Facebook, Instagram. This is for the boutique, and then for me, you could put Karolane on your comment to Facebook. Well, mostly Instagram is more.
I'll put all the links in the show notes anyway. So thank you so much for your time and for your inspirational story. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Yay! Bye.
It's so dreamy.